물론 재림교회에 대한 오해는 서구 사회에서도 있었습니다. 그러나 1960년 월터마틴의 재림교회에 대한 진실, 영어로 Truth About the Seventh-day Adventism 이라고 하는 책이 출판된 이후로는 객관적이고 또 정직한 학문 세계에서는 더 이상 재림교회에 대한 왜곡된 오해는 없습니다.
제7일 안식일 예수 재림교에 관한 진실. 이 책의 저자 월터마틴은 세계적인 기독교 이단 종파 연구의 권위자다. 마틴은 이 분야와 관련된 4개의 박사학위를 가지고 있다.
마틴은 재림교회에 관한 책을 쓰기 위해 7년에 걸쳐 수많은 자료를 수집했습니다. 그는 재림교회를 지지하거나 반대하는 모든 자료를 모았죠. 그리고 재림교회에다가 그가 묻고 싶은 질문을 던졌습니다. 그때 재림교회가 마틴의 질문에 대해 교회를 대표해서 당시 지도자들이 대답한 것을 모은 책, 바로 그 책이 이 책입니다. The Seventh-day Adventist Answer, Questions on Doctrine, 흔히 QOD라고 줄여서 불립니다. 당시 그는 재림교회에게 1차적인 자료를 요구했고 재림교회는 그가 요구하는 모든 자료를 제공해 주었습니다. 편견 없이 객관적으로 교회에 대해서 질문을 던졌을 때 우리가 자료를 제공해 주지 않을 이유가 없었던 것이죠. 정직하게 연구하기만 한다면 말입니다.
Ellen G. White was a Christian, but she got into the idea of being the voice of prophecy to her own denomination. And she claimed that God gave her revelations, which we now know God did not give her. She plagiarized them from other people, shamelessly, I might add. And they're trying to defend her on the grounds that the Bible was put together from various sources, so therefore Mrs. White was doing nothing the Bible writers were doing. That's absolute nonsense. The Bible writers didn't plagiarize from other people in published works and things of that nature and pass it off as divine revelation. Mrs. White did that, and to that degree she was uttering false prophecies.
Walter, when you, many years ago, you took a stand and simply said that the Seventh-day Adventists were not a cult, and then through the years it seemed like they've taken some harder stands, and I'd like to know how you look at that situation right now.
I'm in dialogue now with the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists over questions I am asking them.
What are the, in your terms, the crucial points and how they answer them that make the difference?
Whether or not they consider Ellen G. White to actually be the infallible interpreter of Scripture. I want a statement on that from them. The reason I want it is because if they say yes, then she is above Scripture. If they say no, then why all the fuss about the plagiarism and everything else? Why don't they either fish or cut bait? That, I think, is an important question.
Let me ask you a tough one. Many of the critics back then said that some of the friends that you had at the top echelons that gave you the answer last time, I think it was on Questions on Doctrine,
yes,
that what they said, the guys down below didn't hold. Did you feel any of that kind of heat?
Oh, I got a lot of heat on the subject, but what encouraged me was the fact that I met many Adventists, thousands of them around the world, who came to me personally and thanked me for telling the truth because it was their faith.
Okay, now Des Ford and Walter Ray were our guests on the program, and they talked about the fact that from the Scriptures they could not support the 1844 doctrine.
Absolutely.
And because of that, it seemed like Des Ford had his teaching credentials taken away.
Oh, yes, definitely. There's a purge.
Okay.
I met with Des and I talked to him. He's a very great guy and a very fine Bible student, and he's forsaken Adventism and Mrs. White on the grounds that he doesn't have any choice.
And Walter Ray also came out on the book on
the
Ellen
book,
G.
The White
White,
Lies,
and he's been dismissed.
Yeah.
Is that why you see you're asking the questions?
I'm asking the questions because I see the Adventists purging their own numbers of people whose theology is essentially sound, and I want to know why.